Oh, hey, sorry. Never mind me, guys. I was just eating some W's because I'm so excited for Chris Olave this weekend. Man, Jameis is going to feed my dog. He's going to feed my dog. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the flawless of the flawless fantasy football. Hey, wait a minute. Let me just address the elephant in the room right now off rip. I know you guys like, what? Floss, what do you got him on? Let's talk about it, all right? First off, let's pay our respects, okay? We paid our respect to Nicholas Chubb, and we must pay our respects to Mr. Mike Williams. That's lost for the year, and his 2023 season is done. Listen, guys, I don't make the rules, but it's unfortunate that some players are just glass. I love Mike Williams. I haven't had a T-shirt of him. I still got the T-shirt. One of the T-shirts of 3 wide receivers I got last year. You know, Gabe, Christian Watson, him. Anybody ever bought that? I forgot I had bought that. I never even took it out the plastic until today, because I had to honor him. So, guys, let's pay our respects and give a nice moment of silence for Mr. Big Mike Williams. All right, there we go. We paid our respects. I don't know if he'll be back in the Chargers, man. Look, that team's moving forward. They have some young guys, so I don't know. I don't think he'll be back. I don't know what his contract is. I don't count people money, but hey, man, it is what it is. Hey, man, but check it out, guys. I'm back with the transparency. The only fantasy football content creator that can get just I've played fantasy football since 1995. Look, my heyday of playing fantasy football as a player, like geeked up about it, those days are over. The only time I really play to stay connected and to be competitive for you guys. I can't not play and be like, oh yeah, you need to pick this guy. Oh yeah, you need to pick that guy. That's not fair to you guys. So the only fantasy football content creator, I have two teams that I am transparent and I show my weekly results to my platform and anybody else that's watching. See, other content creators aren't going to do that. They're just going to be like, oh yeah, I had this guy, he did this. Oh yeah, well, if you doggone got 53 damn teams, of course you got everybody. But to me, there are players I highly endorse. You'll be able to tell certain people that I truly like, and I go into drafts with a game plan. Certain players I stay clean the hell away from. So I'm transparent with it, and I'm going to show you exactly what went down. All right, now starting last week, I showed you my transparency. I did the transparency video, and I was 2-0 in my work league. And I'm sorry, I was 1-1 in my work league and 2-0 in the Flawless Fantasy Football Listener League. But before we get into that was a little tease. Before we get into that, we got to get into a little bit of housekeeping first, all right? Listen, guys, check it out. You're just going to go over a handful of things. Shoot straight from the hip. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep it moving. Things are going to happen, okay? So I get it. Things are going to happen. But let's all do our best to stay active on the waivers. But more importantly, making sure that we submit our lineups, okay? We're going to make sure we submit our lineups. We don't need lineups rolling over from the previous week. And then somebody might miss, you'll miss someone that's hurt and they're in the starting lineup. You know, we don't want to affect the wins and losses because of things like that. Now, no game has been disturbed or altered because of that, but we got to, make sure that we stay on point, all right? It's a long season, all right? You got to play through it. Week 14 before the playoffs start, 15, 16, 17, yeah. So come on, guys. Let's just Make sure I'm not just talking about in this league. I'm talking about in every league. Stay active. Stay active, all right? So, number 2, all the dues are in. The cutoff was last night. And so all the league dues are paid. All the money's in the pot or whatever. We already agreed to the divvy up or everything. So, that's a check, right? Everything's good with that. I'm going to give you guys, this number 3, I'm going to give you guys a nice nugget. Now, this doesn't apply to the Flawless Fantasy Football Listener League, but I actually applied this to my Going Postal League, my work league, where this is a possible guy that's going to be a league winner. That could be a league winner. I'm not saying he will be, but he could possibly be a league winner. And I'm explaining you why. This running back has only really been productive for one game, which was week 3. He had 10 fantasy points, a solid 10, right? He rushed 4 times for 21 yards, solid 5 yards a clip. We like that, right? 5 yards a clip. 3 catches for 25 yards. You know, that's over 7 yards a catch. And he had a receiving touchdown. This person is the RB2 behind a RB1, a solidified RB1, that if this RB1 went down, this person will be the hot commodity. People would drop all their fab if this number 1 fab. Not that, we play with fab, I play with fab. I've done it before, and it's actually pretty cool, actually. But, listen, sometimes, you can just go out and get the guy because he's on a free agent in majority of leagues. When I say majority, I'm talking about 80 to 90% of the leagues. Because the running back that he's behind is, I don't think he can hold up. I like him. I really like him. I don't have any shares of him in my two teams, but I like him. And I expressed on my running back episode, that I'm worried about him being injured again. I'm worried about him getting through his injury from last year. But this running back I'm speaking of that could possibly be league winner is no other than Rico Dowdle. You know what I'm saying? I really like this dude. He's the clear-cut number 2 on Dallas Cowboys behind Tony Pollard. And if anything happens to Pollard, man, people are going to be freaking throwing freaking jabs and uppercuts, man, to get Rico. But, so, listen. So if you got some jabroni on your bench, man, I would just say, listen, guys, you're talking to a person that drafted Jerome Ford. Unfortunately, I dropped him in my work league after week 1. But hey, I still got him in the Flawless Fantasy Football Listener League. Injuries happen. And look at Jerome Ford. I got to go against him, too, because the person I'm actually playing this week picked him up after Chubb laid down. Nevertheless, sometimes you got to pick these high-end cuffs. So when the other guy go down, it makes your team that much stronger, man. Like in the Flawless Fantasy Football Listener League, I had Montgomery go down, but I put old boy right in there, from Jerome Ford, because I kept him in that league. Scored 2 touchdowns. Didn't miss Montgomery. Didn't miss him. But, hey guys, so listen, Rico Dowdle, think about it or not, but remember back to this day, September 28th, 2023, that yours truly, Sir Flawless of Flawless Fantasy Football, told you when nobody else was talking about Rico. All right? Timestamp that sucker. All right, next up, we're going to talk about the playoffs. Playoffs? Playoffs? I can still see that dude doing that. Let's talk about the playoffs. Let's talk about the Flawless Fantasy Football Listener League playoffs. Not just any playoffs. The Flawless Fantasy Football Listener League playoffs. The elite league of flawlessness. All right, now we know we do have, I don't want to say a skeleton team because the team's legit, right? The team's legit. Team Don't Lose to Me is what I named them. But guess what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Team Don't Lose to Me is currently in 6th place in the freaking playoff picture. It's 12-man league, half-point PPR. So if the playoffs started now, Team Don't Lose to Me would be in the playoffs. How crazy would that be? You know what? If the playoffs start today, no, they would not be in the playoffs. Because I wanted to talk to you guys about the playoffs and how we're going to run it. I want to talk to you how we're going to work this team. This team was drafted, and I'm going to make sure, even when I'm playing against it, it's going to be a format that's done. You're going to make sure that based on when those players were drafted, it's going to be, and when they're active, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be in there. So you'll be able to see when the starting lineup's active and stuff like that. It's always going to be an active player in that roster based on the team. So we talk about that within the group and everything, so that's not a big deal. Also, I'll talk about that later. So, but my point is, it's currently in 6th place. So if playoffs started now, which is not obviously, it'll be in the playoffs. But I'm not going to allow a skeleton team to be in the playoffs. I don't care how good his record is. I mean, it won't be better than my record, of course, but I won't allow that to happen. So this is how I'm going to work this. Let's say the team gets better. Let's say it ends up in 5th place. All right? Now, I'm not going to allow this skeleton team to go to the playoffs because who knows, it might end up in 2nd or 3rd because it won't win it first because I'll be first, but that's a whole different story. What I'm going to do is, let's say if the playoffs started, let's say that Team Don't Lose to Me, that skeleton team. I don't hate to call it a skeleton team. Dummy team. It's not a dummy team because it's 2-1. I don't know the right name to call it. Vacated team or something. But if it made the playoffs, let's say if it's in 5th place, starting the playoffs, what I am going to do, if it's in the playoff picture, when hopefully it's not, take it out of the playoff picture. Out of the playoff picture. Take it out of that 5th seed. And I would move up 6th seed to 5th seed. And 7th seed would then move to 6th seed. And that team would fall off the fall out of the playoffs, obviously, right? Now, let's say if that team is in 6th place, what would happen? I would take that team out of 6th place and move the 7th place team into 6th place. That's how that works. Sounds fair? I think that sounds fair. Because we don't want an empty team, a person where, granted, as the commissioner, I'm behind it, making sure it's a sound team going forward each week, but need to have a person actually in the playoffs. So, meaning if that team makes the playoffs, what happen to get taken out, and the teams will move up. So if you happen to be in 7th, you'll get in by the skin of your teeth. But hopefully that's not the case. But that'll be the case for somebody if that team ends up being in the playoff picture. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know what you think about it in the comments or anything else I say in this video. So that's how we'll handle the playoffs. Number 5, let's talk about Justin Fields. I've had people, text me, hit me up, comment, YouTube, whatever, YouTube comments. Oh, I'm gonna drop Fields. I had to get rid of Fields. Flawless. I just can't. I can't with Fields. Nobody told you that he was gonna be getting 50 points for this ninja every freaking week, okay? He went through and did the same damn thing for 8-9 weeks before he started popping. However long it was. Listen, guys, each year is different. I keep trying to tell you guys that. Each year is different. Some guys do great, and then sometimes you got to be hands off the bees. Look at them. Let's pause for a second. What I talked about? I talked about Jacobs. All these running backs that had issues and want money, right? Stay away. Jacobs, trash. Might do well this year. Might. This week, been trash for the first 3 weeks. Who else? Barkley, glassed out. Who else? Jonathan Taylor went through his crap. Austin Eckler, glass. All these running backs that one I told you guys to stay away from. Now, Austin Eckler, he was kind of complaining, but he was less than them. But all of a sudden, all of them shared something in common. their running backs, they were trying to maneuver and position themselves for more money. Now, I don't have Eckler. I would have contemplated getting him if I was at the 2 or 3. Probably wouldn't though, man. The dude had like 2 or 3 straight great years. But it's all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're hurt. Whatever. But hey, man, look. Fields may end up being a. Listen, let me tell you something. Let me pause on Fields real quick. Because Fields is averaging 16.5 points, right? No, I'm not going to pause on Fields. So he had 18, and 13. So he averaging like 16.5 points. Based on your format, it's kind of close enough. 18, and 13. So, of course, you're not happy because, oh, my God, I need 30s and 40s and 50s and 70s, 80s, and 90s with Fields, right? But who is sitting here with Joe Burrow, play him every single week? Joe Burrow is actually like the quarterback. I don't know if you guys know this. Joe Burrow is currently like the quarterback 28. He's actually the quarterback 28. He has 7 more freaking points than Zach Wilson. Do you see me all, oh my God, Barry, I hate you so much? No. I'm going to stick with the dude. Because if you burn me, I'm never going to pick you again. It's simple. There's plenty fish in the sea. Plenty of fantasy players out there. So, look, man, at the end of the day, I wouldn't. I just keep riding. It's your team. It ain't just him that's screwing you over. Hell, Burrow scored a 5 week 1, a 19, and a 13. You think that's great? Hell, I picked him in the late 2nd round in my work league. I had the first pick and I picked CMC, came back up, and I picked Joe Burrow and then picked Chris Olave at the 2-3 turn. Is he underperforming for late in the 2nd? Yes. Am I 2-1 in the playoff picture? Yes. You want to know why? I put people around him. Because I drafted CMC. Because I put Kenneth Walker there. Oh, I'm sorry. Guess what? The number 2 and number 3 running back. I don't have him on my team. So if my quarterback's slipping and messing up, my rest of my team, they can make up for it. You can't ride the back off one player, man. You can't ride the back off one player. So I would just ride Fields out. Because you're gonna hate it when he pop. I mean, the hell, who they play Denver this week? You're asking for problems. You should run all over Denver. He the man run over there. So, hey, listen, I'm just saying, I ain't picked him. I ain't picked him because I can't go that. My cutoff point, to me, comfortable cutoff point was Lamar. I didn't want to spend the money for Josh this year. So I wanted the 2 dudes I got. You know what I'm saying? Right up in that Burrow and Lamar range. And that's what the 2 quarterbacks that I have on my team. So, guys, that's just it right there. I just want to talk, you guys know I get long-winded like a mug. But let's get into what happened to yours truly, fantasy football week 3 results. Coming up next. Okay, let's just start off the top. We always start with the going postal first. I just like doing that first. Going postal, this is my work league, 12-man standard. I know people are like, oh, I can't believe you still play standard. You know what I'm talking about, Tyrone? Oh, I can't believe you play standard. It's so dinosaur-y. It's so dinosaur-y. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? People play freaking double tight end premium, no kicker, and head coach points and everything else. Listen, you can play it all. Don't be, look, you gotta respect your elders. The elders are the standard scoring. Now, is it different based on how point people are in full? Yeah. But it's something about it too, to where it's like, hey, you got to earn your damn points around here. You know what I'm saying? Screw all that. But let's just get into it. Week 3, going postal. Here you go. You see it right here on the screen. Yours truly actually had an 87-75 victory week 3. And let me tell you something. I was worried for a little bit, but I got it done. Team profit, 87-75. And as you can look, Joe Burrow gave me 11, guys. He gave me an 11. Lavi gave me a 13. And of course, CMC and Kenneth Walker the Thrizzard. Kenneth Walker the Thrizzard with that motherfucker 26 and up, man. And then they carrying me home, okay? Now, I did have Jacksonville sorry behind, giving him -1. But hey, man, let me tell you something. I got the job done. Down week, got fortunate. Played somebody that wasn't that, but I can't say nobody that wasn't that good because the guy that I beat was Doug Stuggs, and he was the reigning champion from last year. Speaking on reigning champion, he also had Mr. Bijan Robinson, as you guys can see there. Look at Mr. Bijan Robinson. We have a bad game. He gave us 5 standard fantasy points. 5 points. Let me tell you something about Bijan. Y'all know how I feel about Bijan. Y'all can't see my face, so I really can't get the same umph on it. If I go like, oh, Bijan, oh, Bijan, oh, Bijan. No, okay, but listen, Bijan, I'm sticking it to Bijan. Pause. I am 2-0 against Bijan Robinson this year. I beat him in the work league. Listen, I'm not talking about beating the fantasy team owner. I'm beating Bijan. I beat him week 1 in flawless fantasy football, and I beat him week 3 in freaking going postal. I'm 2-0 against Bijan. I hope I play them again. I'm going to be 4-0 against Bijan. Screw Bijan. Make y'all understand I ain't scared of freaking Bijan. Nor should you. Bijan he's no CMC. He's no Kenneth Walker the Thrizzard. I can stand firm and say that. That felt good to get off me. I've been waiting to say that all damn day. Woo, stretching off that one. All right. So, sucker, Bijan. But yeah, so your boy right here, I'm going to show the standings. I'm actually 2-1 after this week's victory. And look, man, it's a bunch of 2-1, handful of 2-1 teams. I'm currently sitting in 5th place. But I told them starting week, I put on the league chat in this group that starting week 8, before week 8 turned out to be after week 7, I want to be on top of the leaderboard with, not just on top of the leaderboard, but on top of the leaderboard with sole possession. I really almost said week 7, but hey, I put some in there, put a little room in there in case I end up slipping up and losing another one or what. But by week 8, I want sole possession. Let's see if I can make do on that. So that's that. As for waivers this week, mind you, I had picked up Browning, Burrow's backup, but for the waiver, since he didn't play, I ended up dropping him and picking up C.J. Stroud. Just give me a little, quarterback juice to see if end up shaking a little something. And I picked back up New Orleans defense because that was the defense I had, of course, because I was afraid of Green Bay at home. Shouldn't have been. And so I went back and I had dropped Jacksonville behind and was able to pick them back up. So C.J. Stroud and New Orleans defense were my adds, while Browning and Jacksonville were my drops. And okay, yeah. So those were my first two. That was when waivers ran at Wednesday, probably 2:30, 3:30 in the morning or whatever, right? So then I woke up in the morning, get ready for work. I'm all late and stuff. I think I like 15, 20 minutes late for work that day. And I looked and I said, okay, I had Khalil Herbert and Roschon on my bench. So I benched Roschon. I cut Roschon last week and kept Herbert. But Roschon got the start last week, even though they sucked. And they kind of, neither him and didn't do anything, and they kind of split the work. So I went on ahead. I said, screw that. Since they got him starting, let me go ahead and try to pick him back up since he was still out there. So you can see at 7 o'clock in the morning, hours after the waivers ran, I picked up Roshan and dropped Herbert. 'Cause I wasn't going to keep both. Wasn't going to do it. Also, a man of my word, I practice what I preach. I also went and I picked up Rico Dowdle and dropped Kendrick Miller. So at 7:36, which is like I was supposed to be on the clock at 7:30, and I still was like at a stop sign making Yahoo transactions, for fantasy football. Let me tell you guys, that's commitment. You got to have your priorities straight. If you're not willing to make this type of dedication, making transactions at the stoplights on your way to work while you're late already, you're never going to break through. They're always going to beat you to the punch. All right? Priorities. So that was that. Roshan added for Herbert, dropped Herbert, and Rico Dowdle dropped and added Kendrick Miller. Now let's go to Flawless Fantasy Football Listener League. Let's go to Flawless Fantasy. This is unfair, I'm going to be honest with you. Because on Thursday night, I essentially already knew because my opponent, Big Blue Wrecking Crew, had started Daniel Jones, had started a wide receiver, like a third or fourth wide receiver for the Giants, along with the tight end for the Giants. It just wasn't a good day for him. I knew then I was going to win, so it was nothing he could really do. Plus, Daniel. So I think Daniel Jones had like 7 or 11 or something or whatever. That won nicely. 163-84, half point PPR, 12-point league. Lamar gave me a nice 33. Mr. Ford gave me a 19, scored twice. Didn't run that well, but who cares? Got a rushing touchdown, receiving touchdown. Kenneth Walker the GOAT. Kenneth Walker the GOAT. Damn that motherfucker. Kenneth Walker the GOAT. Man, Kenneth Walker the GOAT. Oh, but people were so afraid. Charbonnet's going to take his work. Charbonnet. Oh, we're not even going to get into old boy for the Jets. Gibbs. Oh, we're going to get into that. I'm going to let this game right here go first. I'm going to let Game 4 go first. Ooh, because if Gibbs don't do nothing tonight, if he don't, I'm going to light some people, not y'all, but the community up that was just deep throating Gibbs in the third round. Deep throating him. And who's the one that was saying no? See, a lot of content creators, I be looking at them. Oh, who told you who's going to do that? Who's going to, like, you say something good and bad about every player. I don't do that. I'll say something good about you, or I'll say something bad about you. Now, there might be if I say something bad about him, I say, but there's a way, he can do this. But most times I don't do that. I don't like riding the fence. It's either I'm for you or against it. I rarely like to give yellows on my, endorsement shows. Rarely like to give them. I want to be, but sometimes I consider y'all feelings too because I know y'all may like people. So I'm more so go to yellow because of that. But more so I'll go freaking green or red. Ain't no matter. Man, don't get me going. But hey, man, I took care of them. 2 gave 15. Tyreek had a 26. I'll be honest with you, man. It's crazy because I got CMC and Tyreek, and when they be doing they do, I don't feel nothing. Pause. Damn it, man. I'm getting bad at that. I don't feel excited. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they're supposed to do. They're studs. They're supposed to get the Tyreek with a 50-yard touchdown. Oh, that's cool. But let Olave do it. Oh boy, you let Olave start snapping to get them TDs, boy. Let me tell you. Or I felt great about when Tutu did. Man, that's what I'm talking about. When the guys that I don't expect to perform like wide receiver ones when they do it, or running backs that act like they're behave and perform like they're top 3, like Kenneth Walker. Man, I'm gonna tell you about Kenneth Walker real quick. Man, I was in Buffalo Wild Wings, right? It was me, my little brother. So it's me and my brother, my dad and my uncle, and my dad and homeboy. And we're in there watching the game, watching the Dallas game, right? So y'all in this league, in the Flawless Fantasy Football League, no, that's wrong. In the Word League. I had Dallas kicker, right? And I also have Charbonnet in both, not Charbonnet, Kenny Walker in both leagues. So in Seattle was playing Dallas. No, Arizona was playing Dallas. Arizona was playing Dallas. Right? But Seattle was also on the TV. Anyway, man, I think I'm messing up. But it was multiple games on TV. But every time number 9 was doing something with Kenneth Walker I was just so crunk. Give it to 9. I told y'all about number 9. I was slapping the tables and stuff, right? Everybody was looking at me like I was crazy. And then also it's like I wanted Dallas to go down there but kick the field goal. It was just like they didn't know what I was rooting for. Like, who's he rooting for this? Who's he rooting for that? But I was crunk. Was 2 Dallas fans. One was a husband and wife, or boyfriend and girlfriend, older. They probably was husband and wife, who knows? But they were close to one of the bar areas where I was slapping the other table at. They moved all the way down to the right, to the other side. That's how crunk I was getting, man. Yeah, I was feeling good, man. When Kenneth Walker keep running in touchdowns, man, shoot, man, that's gonna get you tight. That's gonna get you tight work. But yeah, so as you can see, I had a nice 60, 70. That was almost an 80-point victory. That was almost an 80-point victory over Big Blue Wrecking Crew. But hey, I still had zeros from Jags defense and Josh Reynolds. So they got Reynolds I didn't cut though, but they should have been. But I'm 3-0, guys. I am 3-0 on top of the sole possession, might I add, not just 3-0. It's sole possession. And I told you guys last week when I was 2-0 and Beantown was 2-0 and Beantown was on top of the league standing because of points. I told them last week I was coming for my throne and I wasn't going to relinquish it. And I mean business, okay? So, and that happened. Sometimes it's about being a man of your word, guys. Be a man of your word. That's very important in life. So let's talk about waivers, what I did in there. In the Flawless Fantasy Football Listener League. All right. So I went and picked back. I couldn't go back and get New Orleans because I had New Orleans in both leagues because somebody scooped them up. Which is smart. Okay, fine. But it's more efficiency, damn it. So I decided, I was like, okay, what's more important? So I went on ahead and I went defense first round. So I went first round of waivers and I got Cincinnati defense because they play against Tennessee and they play against somebody else next week. And I think their defense, the way I saw them running and the way I saw them sacking, they're going to make sure that team's good to go. So I'm not worrying about Cincinnati's defense screwing me over. I don't know what the hell Tennessee's doing with Derrick Henry, so let them keep giving Derrick Henry freaking a little bit of touches. We'll see what happens. But hell, if hopefully Cincinnati get out in front of them, they get boat raced, and it goes from there. But I picked up Cincinnati defense and dropped Jags. And I also picked up Donald Parham and dropped Sean Tucker. Sean Tucker, sometimes when somebody's a number 2, I don't know, I hate to use Warren as an example, but anybody that's a number 2, you can still see that like Dowdle. You can see they running for 4.5 yards a clip or something. Man, freaking Sean Tucker's a plotter, man. He's like 1 point some yards a carry each game or something. So I like, you know what? I think the line sucks over there for running anyway, per se. So I went ahead and dropped that dude. And I picked up Parham since I only have one tight end, and because I had dropped the Tennessee tight end, Okoye or whatever. I dropped him the other week. So I went ahead and picked up Parham just in case some more targets go to him because of Mike Williams. He's already been getting the goal line catches and stuff like that. He got 3 touchdowns in 3 weeks. 1 week 1 and 2 in week 3. So I picked up Parham. Upside play. Somebody in case I could play in front of Ferguson, or Ferguson gets stupid, or definitely play on Ferguson's bye week. So we'll see. So I dropped Sean Tucker for him. And also I needed another linebacker. As I looked at the linebackers and I saw a guy named Zakir White for Arizona. They suck, right, on defense. And he's been getting a lot of points. So I dropped Kendra Miller. That's dead weight. Kamara's coming back. And, I'm invested into the passing game over there. So there's not going to be a time when I put all, even if Kamara's not there. And he had his chance to shine, almost kind of like Gibbs had his chance to shine. He had his shine, but he had 17 carries like Gibbs. But that was just, Kendra Miller, you had to go. So I picked up my second linebacker because my other linebacker is the stud linebacker for San Francisco Pro Bowler. But he gave me 3 points, so I had to let him know I had to bring somebody else in the linebacker room, right? You got to teach these guys a lesson. You just can't go letting these guys thinking they can do what they want to do. You know, like, no, you can't do what you want to do. You can't do what you want to do. What type of example am I setting if I allow you just to do what you want to do and give me 3 points, Mr. Fred Warner? No, you can't do that. So I brought somebody else back into the room. I brought Kazir White into the linebacker room. Kazir White actually got 26 points, 26 and a half more points on the year than Mr. Fred Warner. So we'll see. Now, here's the thing. Arizona plays at 49ers. So which linebacker should I play? Should I play, what do you guys think? Should I play the leading linebacker for Arizona against the 49ers? Sounds like real good, right? 49ers should be up and stuff. Or should I play Fred Warner against a team that just feeds all the stuff through Connor like that? Let me know what you guys think, all right? I already know which way I'm leaning. I'm not going to say. But, all right, I guess I got my lineup in. I'll let you know which way I'm going to go. So I would like to know what you think. Should I go to Arizona linebacker or Fred Warner? But so that's what I did there. So top of the leaderboard. Hey, guys, I know that's a long episode, but I had to talk my talk and do my do. But 2-1 in the work league going postal. 3-0 in flawless fantasy football listener league. Hey, guys, they don't get no more transparent than that. Where they do that at? Nowhere. It's up here at Flawless Fantasy Football, where you hear what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. All right? Guys, I walk the walk. I'll lead by example. I've done the hard work for you. I've had my moods change over fantasy football for the last over 2.5 decades. Not wanting to be intimate, being upset, being high, emotionally high, feeling great, being upset, breaking the TV, not wanting to be around people. I've done the hard work for you. So, but hey, listen, my thing is about prepping you for the season. You know, you can ask me some start sits, but understand, you saw what you saw on the line. You saw me with Josh Reynolds that had a 0. You saw me pick a defense because I thought it was a favorable matchup, and they gave me a 0 in one format and a -1 in another. Nobody's perfect, but you gotta be able to atone for the mistakes with the rest of your team. Now, can he be like, oh, I lost because of Jags? No. I lost because of Jags, but I also lost because of bad. If I had a loss, which I didn't, I'd have lost because of because I left people on my bench that I should have played. Or I drafted somebody I should have played. Hey, guys, I know a lot of you guys, some of you guys got Andrews and shit. I get it. But you don't see me with a freaking tight end early because you're missing out on too much good juice there. You know? I mean, but I understand there's more than one way to skin a cat. But if you pick a tight end and then if you got Madison or somebody else that's underproducing, it's going to make your team hard, especially a lot of you guys playing in 10-man leagues. All right, and so, but keep your head up and hey, look, man, let the person screw you. I mean, I don't know, say let the person screw you over, but as it pertains to quarterbacks, I let a person burn their bridge. But just go with your gut. Trust yourself. All right, because I do it, that don't mean it's the right thing to do. But already kind of have your mind made up before you ask, if that makes any sense. All right. So maybe if you're in the middle, maybe my answer move the needle a little bit. But I don't want you to feel a certain way. Then I say a certain way. Then you go my way and it was the wrong way. No, because you have to press submit on your team. All right? Let's get it, guys. It's week 4. Get them. Get them. Get them. See you on the next video.